There we go.
Hello, hello, CNC brothers and sisters. That feels weird for me to say. Stole your line. Welcome to the show. How's everybody doing? We got
Yeah.
lots of active chat already. Tonight, as I'm sure you've seen from the title, we're talking about your mistakes, my mistakes, his mistakes. Send us all the mistakes that you've made. We would love to read them out, help troubleshoot with you, feel your pain with you, help others learn from our mistakes, and get the stories out there. What happens to you the most often? What do you most forget? Like, what's the one thing that you're like, seriously, I should know that by now?
Good way of putting it. Yeah. Bring your mistakes on, folks. It's just the common mistakes we all make. It's like there's moments that make you go, "Oh, why did I do that?" Don't you hate
I know
that?
the most common one's going to be setting your Z, I feel like.
Oh yeah. Always is. Always is. All right. Well, so first of all, make sure you get the question marks in front of your questions and these comments. Julianne is going to be checking off all these. Boy, they're coming in already. Uh, most used mistakes is knowing what I was doing. All right. Anyway, first of all, Julianne, we're going to bring you out. All right. So there we go. You all know who's running the show. These two ladies, and I just happen to work at IDC Woodcraft, and they're the two bosses. All right. So Julianne will be in the background. She'll be watching your comments, getting them starred for us, and putting in links that we put in there. I did tell you guys last week that I was going to figure out what grease we need to use on the bearings. Right. So I determined the best grease to use for doing maintenance on our bearings on our CNCs, and I'm waiting for grease fittings because the bearings that are on the alt mill don't have the grease fittings except in the ball screw. They don't have it in a linear screw. So I get the grease fittings, then I have to get the adapter so I can do the grease. But this is what it is. So it's called AFC, THK AFC grease. All right. So this is a synthetic grease, and it's designed specifically for the bearing rails and the linear bearings and this kind of bearings. It doesn't have any abrasives in it or anything like that. So anyway, just wanted to make sure you knew that I did my work, did my research. So we're getting there. All right, but anyway,
Did
Julianne's
your
going to be in the back.
homework.
Yeah, I did. Well, I held myself accountable. Someone asked about it last week, and I said, okay, by this week, then hold me to it. So there we go. Now, once I get it all set up, then I'll show people I've got it all set up. All right. So anyway, Julianne, anything going on your end that you want to announce to people? Any crazy things at IDC that you're having to handle?
I mean, it depends on how much crazy you wish me to unload on these lovely folks tonight. I could dish out quite a bit.
She could.
But no, nothing besides the you said we would announce it in 10 minutes thing. So I can't announce that just yet. So
yeah. Well, you know what? We'll do it this way. Julianne, when you're ready to announce a little thing, then you can announce it. But part of the announcement that's bigger for this month is the 5th anniversary of IDC Woodcraft, right? So 2021, February is when I officially started IDC Woodcraft. I started the YouTube channel in October of 2020. And then it was 4 months later, it's like I saw this need of CNC router bit starter sets. I didn't even know. I was looking for CNC router bit starter sets, and I saw everybody else was looking for it, and nobody had it. So I put a set together and went on from there. It was kind of cool. And now, full blown business. Got team members that doing amazing work, and it's just so cool. Liberty's been on board for a little over 3 years.
Almost 3.5.
Yep, Julianne's been on them for about two and a half. Got them. Richard's been on them for about 4. So very cool. So we got some birthday stuff coming up shortly. We're not going to announce that tonight, but we do have this little special thing Julianne's going to announce.
Mhm.
All right. So, all right, with that, Julianne, we'll park you in the background. You're going to watch all these comments. And all right, so let's bring on the problems. All your CNC problems we want to know.
I tell you what, we've already got 28 questions in the queue with an earliest one of 7:13 is what I've got. If you've got an earlier one, Julianne. Oh, wait, nope, I've got 6. Oh, I've got 5. Oh my goodness. Yeah, people have been asking stuff since noon.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've got a full queue here. Let's get started.
Let's hit it.
Robert Patterson. Several months ago, I was doing a project, cut through it into my spoil boards, cut wrong depth. Yep.
Wrong cut depth. So
Yep. Wrong
so
cut depth.
yep. So that's maybe fat fingered the depth of the cut depth, or what else happened? What else causes us to go through?
Whenever I forgot to change the measurement after I surfaced it, I've cut through. And then forgetting to change the Z when you've changed like tool pass, so it thinks it's going deeper.
Yeah, when you're changing tool pass and changing your bit, right? That's the Z setting. But so here's one of the things. Like if you go to Lowe's and you buy the 3/4 inch, the glue up boards that they have, they're not really 3/4 inch. They're like sometimes 0.04 off, thinner. All right, and they're definitely wavy. So if you just go by the number that's written on the stuff you purchase, then you're already asking to drill into cut into your spoil board.
Yep.
So, but that's actually, it's kind of cool because I just picked up the checklist. That's one of the things that's on the checklist. It's your material check. Make sure your material thickness is it matches the design thickness.
Yep.
All right. So that means measure your material. Okay. Robert, thank you for sharing that one. I've done it. I've done it.
Yeah. All right. Hitting a loose knot in pine when surfacing. The machine was not happy, and the noise made my soul leave my body. The bit was done. Yeah. Oh, goodness.
That's actually probably one of the more dangerous things that happens on the CNC. It's like table saw can throw apart really fast, but the CNC can do that too. With the knot, that knot is scary. I mean, it sent chills when Aaron put that in there. It's like sent chills down my spine because I've had it happen to me. You got a loose knot, and that thing kicks around. And when that surfacing bit hits it, it can kick that knot out and hit you.
Like a little bullet.
Yep, it'll break the bit. It'll throw your machine out of tram if that knot kicks up and that bit can't overcome it and it jams up. Yeah, it can cause a train wreck. That should be probably put that on the checklist. I saw what when I was reading the comments on that. What do you think is a solution to that before I get to it? Because it's not. This is not a common thing.
It depends upon, where the knot is going to end up in the end of the project. I would say, a big thing would be if you can secure the knot, if you can tell it's loose already and can secure it with some super glue or some wood glue, depending upon the end of it. If you can already remove it, like I've had several pieces where all I had to do was jiggle it a little bit or put like a wedge down in between the knot and the wood, and I was able to pull it out before I even carved into it.
Yeah. And you know what? Even a knot that appears tight, I've had them come loose on me, and boy, that is scary.
Well, and here's the thing: it may be secure now, but once you start removing material further down, it's not. Right.
Yeah. Mark said he had a knot come loose and heard it tumble all the way up his dust collector pipe. Loud thung noise. And he's lucky it went up his dust collector pipe instead of towards his pie hole pipe in his mouth.
Amen to that.
All right.
All right. Bob, I zeroed my Z-axis wrong at a bit change. And when it started, I went all the way through the product and my wasteboard.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is the number one mistake that people make, is forgetting that Z. I've done it. Liberty's done it. I don't think there's if you haven't done it,
You're weird.
Yeah. I mean, actually, more power to you, right?
Right.
This is, if you haven't forgotten to do your Z ever, I'd like to know who you are. And I almost say, are they really telling the truth? But that's the number one mistake things people forget, is resetting that Z after a bit change. Even in the beginning for the first bit, I've done that.
Doggone Productions forgetting to reset the Z when making multiple bit changes. Now I use Garrett's checklist.
There you go. This checklist is free, folks. It's free to you. We'll put a link so you can get this. Right. This takes care of the bit changes too. When you do a bit change, you come back through this checklist again, and you got all the bits that you're using in your project listed out there. So, yeah, Mark Lindsay, when we've had him on here and he's talked about it, he used to work in his military career and on the aircraft, and you do a checklist for everything. You don't do it, he said you'd be up for court martial. But so he does that with the CNC too. All right,
Leo. Cutting white oak, first 6 parts went quite well. Started the last one, was tired, so I went into the next room to sit down. Cut time was 6 minutes. Went back to check on things 3 minutes later. The shop was smoky. There was a fire in the dust collector hose. It didn't take long to get the ductwork down to find the hot coals. Lesson learned, don't leave the room when your CNC is running.
Fire is the number one major hazard on CNC outside of safety, for the personal safety. And people don't think about that. Fire is you're cutting wood, you're cutting into sawdust. Sawdust in the air can flash, but sawdust will smolder too. And most of the time you see it is on the vacuum systems, right? They cut through it, and people will drill like with a down cut or cut with a dull bit. And all it has to do is get one little bit hot enough to self-ignite into a spark, right? Just that's it. Fire extinguishers. I got 2 of them here. I got one over there and one over there.
I have 2 at the office as well. I don't know how I ended up with 2, but I have 2 as well. Yeah,
I had some sawdust under my table saw, and somehow I don't know what I was doing, but I started smelling something. I looked over, and there's a big black spot that was growing. So the pile of sawdust was smoldering.
Oh my goodness. Something sparked it.
Yep.
John, I broke 2 bits on a recent tray project. Forgot to set the safe Z height higher using a Slayer bit on a finished toolpath. The bit hit the side wall of the tray and broke. Oh, man.
Safe Z height.
Rough.
Okay. For those of you who don't know what a safe Z height is, that's a setting in your design software where you tell the software how high you want it to be over the bit over the material when it parks or when it pulls up. One of the things I've noticed with that, if you set your settings so the 0 setting is going to be off the surface of the spoil board instead of the material surface, I've learned to take in that thickness into account on my Z safe height. So, because Z safe height should, if you set that to 1 inch, then it should park itself 1 inch above. Safe height is when it pulls out and moves. Sorry, that's when it pulls out and moves and goes back down. So, not the parking, but yeah, I've had that happen to me. So always check your Z safe height That's when the bit pulls out of the material to move across to go into the material in the next position.
Yep.
Another thing about that one is you generally want to take into account the thickness of your clamps.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
That's
so
what I was going to say next. Mine came in when I didn't set it high enough for the clamps that I was using. I was trying out clamps for the first time, and I did not reset the safe Z height for what I was using, and it bumped one of those clamps.
Yep. Clamp collision sucks because it'll move your project, it'll break your bit, it can ruin your clamps. Yeah. It can throw your machine out of trim. Oh my.
Hello.
I guess
she comes back.
I noticed the time. And let's see. Hear me out for a second. Hold on. There it is. Okay. So, flash sale, you guys. Fun stuff. So tonight we are drilling down on all these mistakes, and therefore our IDC Woodcraft drill bits are on sale. Now, note, this is only the 2-piece sets, either 2 of the 1/4 inch, 2 of the 1/8 inch, or the 1/4 and 1/8 inch together. So not the single bits, just the sets. And I will throw the link in the description and the chat.
Okay. So, yeah, cool. I'll show you guys exactly what she's talking about. So I can.
That's funny because I almost referenced the cribbage board as far as a safe Z2 for all those like step overs that it has to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. So here's what she's talking about. So these are drill bits that I had designed specifically for the CNC routers, and they've got a couple bevels on each point. And they are angled a certain way, and the flutes are deeper, so it gets good chip ejection, and are solid carbide, so they can handle the speed of CNC routers. So you can do straight plunges with these instead of pecking. So this is the 1/8 inch right there. So that's the set of 2 of those, and we're doing what, 15% off of these. And then there is the 1/4 inch and 1/8 inch. And then there is the 2/4 inch drills. So great for cribbage boards for sure. There we go.
And it's only until midnight Eastern.
Okay. There you go. All right. So she'll put a link in, and there is the discount code to use when you check out.
Awesome. All right.
This is all part of birthday month deals that we're doing. Got some more stuff coming up, folks. Make sure you're on the CNC Insiders list. Especially
we're celebrating with everybody there, yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, let's do it.
Black Creek Designs broke the first couple of bits jogging before the spindle was raised. Yep. When I was actually first testing out the shark tooth drawing tool for a couple of things, which we'll have some videos coming up on those with the shark machine using that. But I broke several markers going across because I didn't look at where it was, and it just like hit the side of it and snapped it right off.
Yeah. You know what I did? I used the shark tooth. So the shark tooth is a tool that holds a pen or a marker in your CNC router. And I forgot to turn the spindle off. I forgot to take the M3 code out of it. So that thing turned on, and it just blew up that marker, and I had like black dots everywhere.
Oh my gosh, the ink went everywhere. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
Don't forget to put question marks in front of your queries, please. That is the best way for Julianne to identify that there's a question there that she needs to star for us to read off and answer for you. Sorry, quick note. I saw a bunch of questions there. So
I just want to bring this one up real quick about the safe height. So Park DCP said if you set your safe height too high, you can
yes,
exceed
on higher projects.
Yep. And if you don't have homing switches, which like my long mill doesn't have homing switches, So it can come up and it'll keep trying to go up, but it thinks the motor's moving, but it's not because it's bound, it hit the limit. And then when it comes down, it'll plunge through. So that's another thing. If you don't have homing switches, you got to watch that C safe height. If you have homing switches, then the machine is going to know that you're going to hit your soft limits, and it'll stop you.
Hold down problems when not properly secured. Yep.
What kind of hold down problems have you had, Liberty?
So I've only had a couple of instances where stuff has moved. I say only a couple. Once was with clamps, and luckily it went out in a direction to where I was still able to reset things up and save it. I think that was with the.
That was when we were in the old shop, wasn't it?
That was downstairs, yeah. And then one time I was able to figure it out pretty quickly and stop it before it did anything crazy. I had waited too long to do my tape CA glue method, and too much of it had dried before I made contact.
Oh, okay.
So it really wasn't, but it like started to move pretty much right as the bit touched it, and I was right on that stop button. So like nothing really happened.
Yeah. Yeah. So work holding is a big deal. So if your project's not held in the right way, you need to hold it for what you're doing, you're going to have a catastrophic failure. I've had, like when I'm using the Beast CNC router bit, and I'm running at 300 inches per minute, 80% step over, like just, I am not using CA glue. I've had projects break away on the CA glue. All right. Even if it was set right, it was just the tool was working too hard in the material that it literally, the adhesive, the tape didn't hold well enough.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're doing a lot of hard work, and particularly over a period of time, you might want to consider your CA glue and a different technique. Make sure everything's really, really clean with the CA glue, because I've seen people do that when you surface your spoil board. Right, sometimes it can be a little fuzzy. Whenever I surface my spoil board, I coat the whole spoil board 3 times with the sanding sealer, and then I come back, let that dry, and then I'll just skim it again. So I've got kind of a good adhesive surface.
Yep.
What else about work holding and clamps and stuff?
Yeah, making sure your clamps are all secured down, because I've had it to where again, I caught it before I started the project, but like I put my clamps down into position, but then forgot to actually tighten them. And so like went to do the whole like jiggle check, and it goes boom, and I'm like, maybe I should tighten it down before I jiggle check it.
Yep. What else? Knowing where your clamps are at, and knowing the tool path that's going to, because we just talked about that before, clamp collisions. Right? What is it? What is it? Keep out zones in the vectric software.
Keep out zones. Yep.
Yeah. I don't like having to worry about keep out zones. Right. It's just another thing to remember in design. It's nice to have, but that's why the edge hugger, those little tiny clamps that we now sell. They're so small, take up such a little small footprint. I don't even think about it.
See, I decided to use them on this project that we're carving up tomorrow. I have it all hooked up, and I decided to use the edge huggers because I wanted more of a hold down than the CA glue method. But again, I don't like how clamps are, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've played with the keep out zones. I'm going to have to go back and watch a video. And so I was just like, nope, I'm going to do the edge huggers, and then I'm just going to do everything within that 1/4 inch that it takes up.
All right. Do we have the nuts? This is the edge hugger, by the way, folks. This is a clamp to hold your project down. It's the tiniest clamp out there, and there's all the work holding forces going straight into the project. Did we get the ones for the shark in yet?
Not for stocking.
Oh,
yes,
we
for
did.
stocking.
Yes,
Okay.
we
Okay.
did.
Yes,
They
we did.
just
Cool.
we have to make the product listing. Adam just got the pictures done today, so they're on their way.
Okay, all right. So your next wave owners who have the edge hugger clamps, there we go. Have the edge hugger clamps, the special nuts for your machine are coming online. Cool. I'm glad. As far as the edge hugger kits, we're still, there's a sourcing problem in the United States. So the company is working on it.
Yep, we're working on it. We're still looking at early April for the kits to be back in stock, and that's the best projection we've got right now. We will have a better projection closer to time.
Yep. Just make sure you're on the edge hugger list, because we will still honor that when we get them in. We're going to honor the new product release discount, because
Yep.
we sold out in 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Kimberly's on board. Hi, Kimberly. Ellen's on board too. Hi, Ellen.
I did see Ellen pop in. She said she can't stay for long.
Okay. All right. We got 52 in there. Let's hit it.
Let's go. Doughboy. Multiple times when having problems with loosening connection. I had forgotten that it loses the 0 settings, and I forgot to raise the router and cut way too deep. Also thought the collet was tight enough, but the bit slipped and almost cut through the spoil board. That too. I'll like put a bit in, but then forget to tighten it down, and it slips out. Yep.
Yeah.
Been there, done that, man.
Yeah. So do I have that? It's got the bit checks. Double check. The bit is installed in the spindle. I got a double check on there for that on the checklist. Make sure that it's going back and double checking yourself, making sure, because I've forgotten that too. And we got bit slip. That's another one. I think I've seen that. We'll probably see it in there. So, folks, if you don't know what bit slip is, it's when the bit, while your tool is making its cut, the bit is actually slipping in the collet, and it's moving either down or up. Usually it moves down. And the reason behind that is that real fine sawdust powder gets in behind or in between the bit and the collet, and it acts like these little ball bearings. And I just had kind of a great little example today. So I got my speaker where I can hear you guys when Liberty's talking, and this thing kept falling off my monitor. I'm going, what? It's been staying on there fine. So I open up the clamp, and it's sawdust, little fine powdery sawdust in on that rubber, right? And that's what was making it slip down. And sawdust, man, stuff is, don't underestimate how slippery that can make it. Okay.
All right, the Scott. I drilled my alignment holes for a 2-sided carve from the front side. When I flipped it over, well, it wouldn't line up to the asymmetric pins. Interesting.
Yeah, you know what that tells me? That the gantry is out of square.
Ooh.
If your gantry is square, it should pick it up properly. But if it's out of square, when you flip that over, that it's, let's just say you're out of square like this, and you flip it over, now your part is mirrored and the two sides are opposite. So check your squareness on your machine. The way you can do that is drill 3 holes. So let's just say that my screen is the spoil board. Drill a hole here to a known distance over here, and then the same distance over here, and then you just do your trigonometry. You'll be able to tell just in that 3 points whether you're in square. I like to do all 4 holes, and I'll measure across that way and that way. And then if it's not in square, then I might make 4 more holes, just an inch inside. But I always need to know the distance.
Yep.
Your gantry's out of square.
Retrammed the long mill and resurfaced the spoil board. What a difference. Awesome. Feels like a new shop almost.
It does. It does. A long time ago, Liberty, I was getting my car painted, and my dad said, you know, when that car is painted, it's going to run so much better just because it looks better.
Yep. Right? Automatically.
Yep. This is a good point too, because machines can go out of tram. You do a lot of work on them over time, it can start to go out.
Yep.
And so that's part of your maintenance routine. Check your tram.
Spooky. Also, David, I'm lucky. I've only broken one bit because I was pushing it too hard. Interesting. Well, go you. That's awesome. I think I've only broken two. I've stopped every other like almost break that should have happened. There's like been many times where I should have broken a bit, but I am so like right there with my, emergency stop button that like there's not much of a chance.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, has anybody seen the ad that we made, the IDC man ad, where Liberty broke the bit? And I got to tell you, breaking that bit was the hardest. It was so hard to break it, right? We're running the machine faster and faster and faster, trying to overpower the bit and turning the spindle down slower and slower and slower. Couldn't break the stinking bit.
Restart the video, just till we got that final break cut.
Finally, when I got, it was the IDC downcut 1/4 inch, right? And finally, when I was cutting at 450 inches per minute, and I got the spindle down to like 11,000 RPMs is when it did it.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Two Towers are, I love IDC man. Yep, it was funny.
Yep. We talked about that. We might be doing another IDC man video. Well, actually, we'll talk about that tomorrow because we got that special thing we got coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of special things, you see what's going on the bottom of the screen. It's IDC Woodcraft. Go ahead, Liberty. You do it.
15% off the drill bits. We're doing 15% off our drill bit sets. That is either 2 1/4 inch drill bits, 2 1/8 inch drill bits, or try a little bit of each. And you get 15% off of that using Drill Down, because we're drilling down on this birthday and we're drilling down on these fixes.
Right. Yeah. And that 1/8 is for cribbage makers, the 1/8 drill bit. It's so clean, so fast. Anyway, all right, go ahead.
All right, Terry.
Use that discount code, folks. Drill Down 15. All right.
I have not used the Aura mask. Would you please go over the process of how this works, please?
How Aura mask works? No, go ahead, Lib.
I mean, it's fairly simple. If you've ever laid like vinyl or wallpaper or lined tape, depending upon your design and what you're aiming for, if you're trying to protect painted stuff, if you're trying to paint afterwards, you lay it down, but slowly pull away the under sheathing of it, and you want to make sure you get an even like adherence across the board with like a spackle scraper. Little spackle scraper, give it pressure all the way down as you pull out the undersheath, because any bubbles, that's going to be where the Aura mask is going to fail, because if it doesn't have an adherence to the spot, then it can't create that clean line for you. From there, I definitely say make sure you seal your wood before painting it anyways, and then I always like to put a nice clear coat in after I've carved into my Aura mask to prevent any bleeding.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Any experience with mask having a film? Or okay, so the film. One of the things Greg from STL Woodworking just reminded us: make sure you use downcut bits or straight cut bits, like the knife type V bits. Don't use an upcut because it'll pull it up. So Aura mask leaving the film. Here's why it's going to leave the film. I ran into this several times. I couldn't figure it out, and I finally figured it out. It's leaving the adhesive because you're peeling off when the temperature is too cool on the Aura mask. Once you get it warmed up to 75, 80 degrees, it peels off really nice. But I was making that really big sign. Remember that for my friend out in Italy? The big
Yes. The
and
big dragon.
Yep, I was throwing that away, and it was like, what the heck is going on? There's so much of that adhesive sticking on it, and I finally figured it was like 50 degrees when I was Fahrenheit when I was pulling that stuff off. So
I'm gonna go ahead and pop in these other Oramask questions since we're on the subject.
Okay.
For the newbies, what is the purpose of the Oramask? It's like big fancy masking tape. I feel like it's big fancy painter's tape. So like he was saying, you want to use a down cut or a straight cut bit. And the reason for that is you're going to put it on before you carve. So if you're doing like a letter sign, like P.S. I love you for your bedroom, for your wife, for your anniversary or whatever, and you want that P.S. I love you to be in black and the rest of the wood to shine through, you're going to lay that Oramask down before you carve. You're going to carve, you're going to do your clear coat, your whatever, paint that, and then once you peel that Oramask off, that's giving you that clean cut line that's right along the carve for the painting.
So there's an example right there.
Beautiful.
All right. So all I now just seal this, spray sealer over it, then paint it black, then peel the Oramask away, and everything's nice and clean. And I still have a nice natural wood color. All right. Oramask is awesome.
It is amazing. I love it.
Yeah. One of the things about Oramask, if you get bubbles in it, you can take like a corner of a razor blade and just pick it, and then you run your finger around that bubble and get closer and closer and closer.
Close it in.
Yep. I always sand my project first, and then like any sticky thing, if it's got dust on your wood, it's not going to stick.
It's not going to stick.
Get that vacuum on it. Get that sawdust off.
I take a rag to it. Everything. What is the best paint to use with Oramask? Another great question. Don't use lacquer. Don't use lacquer. It'll melt it. Or is it lacquer? Or is it? Yeah.
Lacquer will if you.
Yeah, lacquer melts it. Don't use lacquer. If you want to clear coat with lacquer, do that after you remove the Oramask.
Yeah.
But I just use basic spray paint.
Yeah. Yeah.
All-purpose spray paint.
You go on to the next one.
I don't know what he said. Let's see. I know there was another.
He said move on to the next one. He's got to get his tape or paint or something or other.
You do that anyways. Ha!
All right. So, yeah, here we go. So I'll use a clear gloss. I don't tend to like to use the 2X stuff like this because it goes on so fast and heavy. So there's a different brand I got over. I just didn't grab the right one. And I like to use the Rust-Oleum, the fast drying Rust-Oleum.
Yep. I love the fast dry Rust-Oleum. Yeah. That's pretty much all I get most of the time.
And I try to go flat when I can. It seems to dry faster and better. All right, I'm unplugging my CNC router. It keeps beeping on.
I thought I saw one more about Oramask, but I think we got them. All right. Rocco, ordering a machine soon. Interested in learning as much as I can before I make mistakes. Listen up tonight then, because everybody here has made these mistakes, so hopefully you don't have to. There will be some you make. It's just part of it, but that's why we're here to learn from each other, and there's a few we can avoid and help each other out a little bit. So yay on ordering your machine. Happy CNCing. Welcome to the CNC family. And I hope you learned something here tonight and every night that you hang out with us on Wednesday.
Yeah. This is probably the best advice videos you can watch because this can preset you in a lot of stuff to prevent a lot of things from happening. And what's the other advice that you always give them when they're just getting CNC? What's the first thing they should be focusing on?
Learn the software. Learn the software before you have your machine. Know your way around your software. If you're using Vectrics, obviously I highly, highly, highly recommend learn your CNC, Kyle's master training course. So, but just no matter what software you're using, your machine's not there yet. Get on your software, make up the projects, get on YouTube or whatever, learning ability you have. And make sure that you know your way around your software before you're ever utilizing your software, because once you are, then it's a lot more natural. It clicks, and you're not having to fight with learning this and learning that and learning how they communicate.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And by the way, Kyle will be a guest next week. Is that right, Julianne?
Yes,
Yep.
the
Okay,
11th.
next week we get Kyle Ely, the vectric master of all masters. All right.
Yeah,
Boy, we got 57 things in the queue. We got to start hammering this out.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of problems here.
The importance of order of operations. It cannot be shortcut. That is right, Tim. That is absolutely right. That's why we have that checklist.
Yep. So so folks, order of operations, what does that mean? So order of operations is, there's two ways of order of operations. Number one is the whole process that you go through. One is the design. You're confirming things. You're confirming your tool paths. You're confirming you got all your G-code files set up right. You know what each one is. You set up your machine. You load your G-code. You zero things out, and you run your project. That's the big order of operations. The other one is when you're actually doing your tool paths. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So what bit is going to be used first? Which one's going to be done second? What's going to be done third? What part's your project? So there's a rule in CNC machining, and Julianne, make sure we link this video. It's called the down and out rule. So what that means is when you are designing your tool path, setting up your tool paths, you always want to think downward first to remove material downward, whether you got to surface a project or make a pocket or something like that, and then work your way out. That's the general rule of thumb you want to follow in your order of operations. And generally, it's the big bit to the small bit, right? Start with big bits, then you work your way down. These are general rules to start with.
Yes, yes. On the hat notes, yeah, I couldn't find my monkey hat at the last minute. I didn't actually wear a hat to work today, so everybody got to see my bare hair that's terrible right now. But this is actually a hat my friend made for me for Christmas. So I just threw that on so y'all didn't have to see my head. All right, Sean, my mistake. I didn't level my table and it had a twist. So the y-axis rails weren't level compared to each other. Caused a lot of engraving issues. Yep.
Okay, that's a good one. When you're setting up your machine, level up your machine. We got the long levels. We did that. Remember when we set up the long mill up in the office? We got long mill here, old mill here. That's another thing to do when you're doing your maintenance. Double check your level. That's where you want a long level that's going to cover the distance of your bed, and you check it both ways, and diagonally.
Yep.
And you would be surprised because from the back to the front of the machine, that level can be off.
Yep.
Okay.
Callback game calls. Hey, Garrett, Liberty, and Julianne. One of my very first mistakes was not having the correct size of project for the footprint size of my mill. It was way off, and the V tool took off crazy. Yep. Making sure that, not just the depth of your material size, but maybe you were designing a 10-inch and the board you actually got was 8. Your design's going to be changed.
Yeah. Yep. That's where you check and making sure your material's in the right size. You know your orientation, your start point,
Mm-hmm.
and you're double checking it. That's on here too. Mark Lindsay helped me do this too. I put this together. I'd send it to him, and he'd say, "Well, you forgot this, and then you forgot this, and forgot that." So I'm fix that up, send it back to him. He says, "Well, you need to add this too, and add that too." So I was like, "Come on, Mark!" But he was right. All this stuff was needed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's another mistake they make, Liberty?
Oh, yes, the chucking. In every first-time customer order, you will get this beautiful sticker here. It is a chucking guide sticker. It can slap right onto your CNC or right onto your table or right onto your toolbox, and it guides you exactly how to chuck your CNC bits within the safe zone, so they're not putting too much pressure on the collet, on the top of the bit, or you're not overextending your bit for more cut length.
Is that
We don't do that.
That's like one of the most common returns we get, isn't it? People extend their bit out too far.
Yep. Or they did not chuck it properly. And I can always tell. That's the thing. They're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm like, I can always tell because I can see on the bit where your collet gripped it.
Yeah, it's so easy to tell. All right. Hit it.
All right. I've had a CNC go back to previous home position after setting up new home position multiple times now, and will happen before and after projects are ran. Interesting.
Back to previous home position. Huh.
Could this maybe be a work offset issue?
Yeah. So we just want to be correct on our terminology. Right. So Liberty's on it here. So home is the machine home. Right. When you start the machine, if your machine has a homing sequence, it's got the home button, right? So that's homing. And then you have your origin, your workpiece origin. So this might be it. It may not be holding the workpiece origin.
Happened again today, but only with the y-axis.
What would be happening there? Folks, if y'all have any ideas on this for Shannon, put it in the comments of what might be happening. Looks like what I'm guessing from this is her work origin is like not holding or it moves. I would check all your electrical connections and just make sure everything's plugged in tight.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely check the connections, because I think you had issues with your things keeping, we did with the log mill, and it was a connection issue.
Yeah.
It was the thingies were coming loose. I remember that. Yeah. So that definitely could be something. It's keeping just enough to where it's like sometimes connected and then sometimes not, to where it doesn't remember where it's supposed to be or gets off of track. Triple checking it now. Awesome. Awesome. Everybody take a drink. I'm going to ask Julianne, if she hasn't already, to put the checklist in the comments. It's in there. So for those of you asking for it before you order bits, you can download it. You can print it out. You can put it up on your mirror as your morning motivational.
We should put your logo on there. You're saying, feed the machine.
There you go.
It comes with instructions. Tells you what each thing is here too. This is really important. If you follow this, it's going to save you so much. It's going to save you what you don't know what you'll be doing. Did I say it right? No, I didn't. How would I word that? You won't.
I'm picking up what you're laying down, but I'm having trouble wording it as well.
Yeah. Mark or somebody come up with what I'm trying to say. All right, let's do the next one.
All right. Not resetting the project thickness. Yes. Not only between project to project, but between design and execution.
And what means there is you design your material for like 0.75, and then your material is actually a different thickness.
Yep.
Yeah,
while cutting out a 2D, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Frankie, while cutting out a 2D or 2.5D easy create figure, the roughing tool path left uncut sections on the bottoms and sides of the figure. According to the figure, that seemed fine. I don't see anything else. So, I mean, It could have been a step over issue if it was an issue. Sometimes with the roughing toolpath, it doesn't take off as much as I think it should, but then it comes back through with the finishing and takes off those things that I thought it should have taken off in the roughing. Ah, okay, somebody found it. Finishing the finishing toolpath was 1/16 inch bit, went 3/4 inch down and broke in that area because there was a tiny edge around the model not seen. Oh, fix was profiling around the entire edge first. Yep.
Yep. So when it comes to the 2.5 D, he's talking about the relief carves. It's basically we call 3D, but it's 2.5 D. 3D is technically all the way around. Right, the 2.5 is just along the surface, and you have raised sections. And whenever I do the roughing, I tell it to an allowance of maybe 1/2 inch. I tell it to go 1/2 inch more on all sides. Right, and that'll help save some of that clearing, especially with the 1/16 bit. I mean, he's doing a fine tip there.
Yep. Jamie was running a few cuts the other day, changed the tool set Z height, forgot to change programs, hit go. Stupid, couldn't hit the stop button fast enough. Yep.
Changed the tool, but forgot to change the program, the G code program. Wow. This is a good session, folks. I hope that, are you guys getting something out of this? Are you all relating to this? Because I've done this too, what Jamie did.
I like this. I'm going to pull this one in. The biggest mistake is being in a rush. Yep. You make mistakes when you're in a rush. You forget things, you miss things. John, how do you manage to surround yourself with such beautiful and smart women?
How would I answer that question? So
I don't know.
I want to answer this question this way, and it's kind of a different way. So remember the restaurant that was down the street, Bad Apple? Bad Apple Mac. I loved going there. One day I was, before I had brought you on board, I knew the owner, and I was back in the kitchen, and she had all her workers there, and I told her, yeah, I'm getting ready to find some people to help at IDC Woodcraft. And she said, well, good luck. It's really hard to find good people. Right. And I'm thinking that's the worst attitude you can have. Right. But it reveals to you what, because my attitude is bullshit. I want to find the best people on the planet. Right. And I did. Right. So I can tell you, John, it came from knowing that I'm going to find really kick-ass A players. Right, and not settling for anything less. So that's how. And I scored an A+++ with these guys. All right, let's roll
on. Mike, I like to use the G54 setting when making multiple items. My mistake is that on occasion when I change the tool, I forget to zero the Z for all of the positions, and it usually ends up bad. Yep.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Yep.
That takes quite a bit of staying on top of things. If you're using multiple positions with the same G54, I'd consider using the other work offset codes, or duplicate the program within the program. All right, so it's all running on one program. Go ahead.
Cano, any update on the SVG DXF for the cribbage board? Which cribbage board?
Update for the SVG DXF for the cribbage board.
Do we have?
It should be available with the cribbage board when they.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain that's in with the cribbage board file. So the cribbage board file, that comes with the cribbage board set. We should probably attach that to the cribbage, the bits as well, the 1/8 bits.
Attach what?
The cribbage board file. But we can't do that now.
Okay.
That's a technical thing. And we have to get a technical guy in on that. That's quite a few settings. So it's this board right here, I think, is what they're talking about. This was fun to make. Okay. So we'll look into that. We'll see what's going on. I'll look at that.
He said the DXF SVG did not have the right geometry. Okay, that will be a Richard thing.
No, I'm going to find it while we're talking. So see, handle what.
All right.
IDC Wizard file status. Hey, Julianne, bug the crap out of me tomorrow on that file. Nope. Friday. Just make a note. Julianne's got her hands full.
Yep.
So Liberty
and it has to pass through a few hands before it can get to where it needs to go to get to you guys.
Liberty, I'll put that on you to try to remind me.
Yes, sir.
I really do have. Julianne's got a lot of stuff she's taking care of. Big major stuff we got going on.
Yep. Drink.
Drink. Good. You handle it while I'm finding the cribbage board file.
Okay, then I will. Ooh. For us newbies, what does IDC stand for? I don't care. I've always wanted to do that. Imagine, design, create. IDC.
That's funny. You finally said it.
I finally said it. Oh, that was fun. Okay. Which software to use? I have Shapeoko 5 Pro and use Carbide Create. Should I consider biting the bullet and getting Vectric or Aspire? That I can't say against or for necessarily. Obviously, I'm a Vectric girly, but I know a lot of people who work with Carbide Create and are very happy with Carbide Create. So honestly, you're going to have to maybe watch the comments for the next couple minutes. If anybody who has worked with both can say which one they prefer or some pros and cons about either. You know, if you've got some advice for him, obviously I'm gonna say go for Vectric, but I'm a little biased on that because I've not touched Carbide Create, but I love the people over there. So
yeah, well, what we had a talk with Easel yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
we're not locked in. You know, I don't know a whole lot about Carbide, so I want to hear from those who have used both and know what you're doing.
Yeah. So I want to get IDC Woodcraft expanded outside of just the alt mill, or that's why Liberty's got this other machine outside of just Vectric, right? IDC. I don't want IDC to be tied in like that.
Right.
This is broad community, so it's taken some work to we're communicating with other companies now because I really want to level the playing field across the board. All right, go ahead.
Kevin, did you put spell check on there yet?
Spell check
on the checklist.
Did I put spell check? Oh, that's.
Remember the board?
Yes.
Yep.
That's funny. Spell check is on. That's too funny. Wow, these keep coming up. 53 is still sitting on the queue.
Yep. I'm just going through trying to grab the easy ones while you're fishing around on your computer to try and knock some out. Adam Pearson, question: do you make V-carve bits with a longer shaft? So no, we don't. Currently, the ones we have are the ones we have. We will be making larger shaft ones here soon. We do have some larger shaft ones, but we're going to be releasing some more. But currently, the lengths we have are the lengths we have. Again, don't extend it further down your collet just for further length.
Yeah.
Change what you're doing.
There are limits that we will go on the length of the bits because
it just creates too much.
It's too much flex, too much
Too much
deflection.
flex. Yeah.
And then they just break.
Yep.
Keep on rocking. Okay.
Oh, okay. I knew this was in here somewhere. Robert, Liberty, why did you go with the Shark rather than the long mill or the alt mill? So that's a great question. We kind of answered that a second ago, and that's, part of it is we don't want to be locked in. We have a lot of people here who use a lot of different types of CNCs, a lot of different CNC companies, a lot of different software, and we're all still in this CNC community together. So I chose to go a slightly different route. So that way I could expand our reach in the CNC community. I wanted to be able to connect with others with a different machine than what Garrett and I had been experiencing beforehand. And then the size of the machine I got, I said it, as my reasoning in the video too, but I want to show you that with a small budget and a small space, you can still make a lot happen. And I want to find out exactly how much we can make happen. So I'm pretending like I would have to bring this little CNC into my personal apartment. Thankfully I don't. But I'm pretending like if I were to have to bring that into here, what could I have? This is what I can have, and what can I do with it? So, ta-da!
Yep. So I want to answer this one question from Prescott. He said, anything on the double-ended V-bits? So the straight.
I couldn't remember if you had mentioned them or not yet.
Yep.
That's why I was like, and I skated around mentioning it a minute ago.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I did talk to our tooling company. We got the new drawings. We have approved the drawings on it. So we are going to start having them made. So just so folks know exactly what we're talking about. It was a brilliant idea. I think Prescott was the one that said it. When we get good ideas like this, folks, they earn a gift card or something. So we have the 60-degree V-bit like that. And I think he suggested putting a V on the other side of it. Why not? So we made it a little longer, and we're getting them with double-sided V's on them now. So it's going to be a little while before we get in the house, but yep, that's
they are in progress.
Yes, sir. Let's go on. Oh, just got shot.
Oh. Sorry. Tim, used the wrong bit and ruined a project in my haste to finish the job. I grabbed a second piece of material, forgot to measure the second piece of thickness. 2 ruined projects.
That's the art of living in frustration.
Yeah. Guilty. Yep. That's one of those, like, throw the game away and close it up for the day.
Yes. Yep. That's Russian.
Mm-hmm.
That was mentioned before. Russian is probably the most expensive thing out there.
Yep. Troy, don't use a 6mm bit in a 1/4-inch collet. It will move in the Z during the cut.
Yeah.
Find a 6mm collet. Yep, that's bit slip.
It's actually a significant difference in diameter.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What's that working in inches? So in millimeters, the 6mm bit, the 1/4-inch bit is 6.35 millimeters. If I did it in reverse, let's do it like that, and 0.236 is 6 millimeters. So that's significantly smaller. Yes, that's exactly what will happen.
Yeah. Where are the eccentric nuts located on the alt mill 4x4? Getting close to 2,000 hours, and I need to replace the Delrin nuts and the V wheels. How do you replace them?
The alt mill doesn't have V wheels. So in a long mill,
Long mill does.
yeah, it must be working a long mill. So, so the eccentric nuts they're going to be on the long mill. So you have four wheels on the track,
Yeah.
right? So the nuts,
those are the ones that are like with the flat side, right?
they're offset. So the nut has an offset hole in it. So you adjust it and move it. So it should be on either on the top, both of them on the top, or both of them on the bottom. Loosen them up.
Yeah, on the inside.
Yeah.
Reference material thickness. When I use my calipers for thickness, sometimes it's off, even with zeroing the caliper. Why? Could be movement, could be your calipers are out, could be, got any other ideas?
Yeah.
I know I agree a lot.
So if calipers are not consistent every time you zero them, you should have adjusting screws right here for the gib. And you should just get in there with that little screwdriver if they provided it. Like the IDC, we provide it, and just tighten that down just a little bit. Don't make it over tight. But that's usually where that's happening at, is that little gib in there. It's basically a plate that's right in along the back here, just keeping everything plain. And if that loosens up, then it's wobbling like that. And also, be consistent with your thumb pressure. And also, when cleaning your caliper blades, just do it like this. Take a piece of paper and just run it through. And if that paper doesn't want to run through very well, then you've probably dropped it and bent your tip.
All right. Can I put VCarve Pro on the computer that comes with the alt mill for G code? Like on the G control?
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Yeah, because it has a whole web setup.
I've got it on mine. Yep. Now just know that G control is not as fast.
Right.
Right.
I usually only use that for minor changes of like if I need to change the material thickness on a design real quick and recalculate it or something.
Yeah. Also,
I can hop in there.
It's okay to use the G controller. I mean, it'll work, but get yourself a Bluetooth mouse and a Bluetooth keyboard. You'll be glad you did. Okay.
Yep. All right. How do I stop in the middle of a project and turn off router? How do I continue?
Oh, excuse me. You hit the pause button, right? The pause button, it should stop right there. And then you can restart it. Actually, that's a little bit of a, not a big process, but I gotta launch it up. Go ahead and put the next question up in the meantime.
All right. Oof. Mike, when I had my MK1, I left a block on the side of the table and it got jammed in the right side of the gantry and the left side kept on moving. Oh no.
Ooh,
Oh no. Hazards on the workspace.
Ow. Yeah. Okay. So the gantry motor bound up. Yeah, that's the times I found that happen was the wire would slip off and the motor just lost its power for a moment. But I also had it just happen, maybe because it was over torqued on one side. Right? That's knowing the limits of your machine.
Right.
So the previous.
Yeah, and I think the block got locked on causing it to not be able to move too.
Yeah. Okay. The previous question. What was that again?
I just lost it. I don't know where it went. I went to go grab it again. And I think
So, okay, I got it. So in G Sender here, you have the pause button. There's going to be a pause button right there. Oh, sorry, right here, right in the middle. And then you have a resume button. It's start from, right? So you can resume with that start from. It'll tell you, do you want to start from this line? If you have other control software, I'm not sure.
Lost a finger to infection from a slice to the skin from a sharp bit. Clean all wounds.
Wow. Yep. This is another one. It's another mistake that happens too. We've seen injuries. We've seen some ugly injuries. Right? People get their hands near a spinning bit, especially the surfacing bits. So I've seen several people really hurt themselves with surfacing bits. All right. I mean, that one cut his finger. Bits are sharp, folks. They're sharp. They're super sharp. They're like razor sharp almost. So they will cut you. And now someone lost a finger over it.
Yep. I've sliced myself a many a times on these bits.
Yeah.
What is the proper way to set up a tool path when you cut through to 0.68 on a 0.75 board? Then you need to set up another tool path to finish going through the remaining thickness with tabs. So like, I'm assuming you're probably doing maybe a bit change, or
I think what this is doing is doing the clear out work and then just wants to come back and finish. I don't know. You can just go ahead and finish that depth all the way with the tabs. You don't have to go part way and then go another distance without the tabs unless they're trying to clear it out. They're like doing a pocket, perhaps, to clear out the chips. It's like a large slot pocket. That's your cut depth, your starting depth. So let's just say you got a 1-inch piece of material, and that first one goes down, 0.75, right? So your cut depth starts at 0, and you go down to 0.68. Your next one needs to start at 0.68, and your cut depth will be 0.07. You have to subtract the 2. And that'll take you all the way down, and then add your tabs in.
Question about embers. Would a pecking drill be better? If so, what pecking depth would you recommend?
I'll leave that one to you, Liberty.
I've been told to not do pecking just because, so the purpose of the drilling bits, like the ones that are on sale right now, if you use our discount code drill down 15 for the 2-piece sets, that's 2/4 inch, 2 1/8 inch, or one of each. But anyhows, those are designed so you don't do pecking. There's a lot of risk with pecking. Most of the time people are using that with an upcut because they don't have a drilling bit. And I've been told to not do pecking because it can cause fires. So I don't do pecking. So I don't have advice on pecking. I say don't do pecking. I say get the drill bit.
Yeah, peck drilling doesn't generally lead to fire, but what it does lead to is if you're pecking with an end mill, okay, you don't have the chip load clearance in an end mill than you do in the drills, right? So you can break your bits because it's just getting too many chips in there. I don't like to use drill bits. I don't like to peck. It's like pecking takes so long, especially when you're doing cribbage boards, right? But if you want a peck drill, you can still use the same bits that we got here.
Yep.
Right. So peck drill and a drill bit, there's no difference between the two. It's just terms that people are using.
What is the wasteboard to use when doing cut-through projects? We always do MDF as our spoil board. Some people, if they know they're going to cut through and they want to be sure they cut through, but they don't want to ruin their spoil board, they'll do like a secondary false spoil board. So you could do that. If you're worried about cutting up your spoil board a ton, add a secondary spoil board on another piece of MDF that you don't care about that you're going to pull off once this project's done. and then we go from there.
Yep. So Liberty brought up a really good one, James. Okay, so this is one of the problems that happens, right? We cut into our spoil boards, and over time we tear up our spoil boards. So you can create, like she said, put another one on top and use that. The other way is, in order to prevent this, because this happens too, it's a little mistake. It's not catastrophic, but we cut through, and we already mentioned it a couple of times, right? Cut into the spoil board as we're cutting around the project. You can eliminate that by setting your zero off the spoil board, making sure you set your software, your design based on the spoil board. Liberty's machine doesn't have MDF.
Right.
Yours is HDPE, I believe. Is that plastic?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. And on that note, I will be right back if you can continue on solo for a moment.
Yep, we'll do it. All right, cool. All right, so folks, first of all, what you see scrolling across the bottom. So this is IDC Woodcraft's 5th anniversary month. So it's very cool. Very proud to have this company go on this long and growing. So it's consistently grown year after year. So we're going to doing little celebrations. And here's one, the drill bit sets. So the three two-piece drill bit sets. We're doing flash sale till midnight tonight. And there's your code, your discount code, drilled down 15. And Julianne came up with that name because we're drilling down into problems tonight and mistakes that happen, how to get away from them, how to prevent them. What have we learned from it? All right, so P2H said, when my Z-axis plunged into my wasteboard when manually moving axis manually to set Z, and then instead of raising Z, I moved Y and heard the loud bit snap. Okay, there's a number of things that that happen here. Number one, when we're lowering Z down, it's remembering to change your feed, the jog feed, to a much slower speed. I've done this too. We hit it and then it drives right into the spoil board, and it can break the bit easily. Also, and I know I've done this. I've seen other people do it. When you're lowering your bit down to probe your Z on a plate, don't have your plate out of the way. Don't put your plate under there until you've got your Z down into position. Because if you're clicking, if you have the G control software, the G sender software, you know, and it's got the click settings. So I'm looking at it right now for the Z, the rapid setting. If we have it on rapid, it's going to, each time you click it, it's going to go down 0.4 inches in the Z, at least the way mine's set up for default. And I've driven bits right into my probe plate. So when you're going down, slow it down and don't have your probe plate under there. That's a good one. So it's a common mistake that we don't really think about. Carrie saying using G55, loaded another program, set Z, now cutting too deep. G sender set back to G54. Now I added this to the checklist. Okay. So here's a little note. So for those of you who don't know, G54, G55, all the way up to G59, these are G codes, and these are what we call work offsets. I'm not going to dive into what they are, but basically in the quickest way I can say it, you can have multiple different stations on your machine, and each one is assigned to a G code, G54, 55, 56. And if that G code is in the machine, here's what you got to do, Carrie, to fix this. Go into the G code, edit the G code, at the very top, put in G55, and then save it like that. And that way, when it runs it, it's going to be, it'll initiate G55 in the G control software, G sender software, because G sender always defaults back to G54 at the end of a program. So if you ever want to do that normally, and you know G55 is or G56 are going to be fixed locations on your machine, then plug that into that program and make sure you designate somehow the program name and the G code file name that it's set for G55 or 56 or 57. So that's if you're ever in CNC, and this is in professional machining too, and we always did this. On our CNC machines, our big machines are cutting metal. We had multiple stations. So we had dedicated stations to dedicated work offsets. So we always knew what work offset that would be. And so we'd put that work offset in the G code and it would call that right up. And we always knew that it would go to that one workstation. All right. So the woodworking caveman, I like the name, brother. I gave up on my Z probe since it was driven into my puck and broken a couple bits. Now I use the paper method. Okay, there you go. That actually gives you a lot more control because you know you have to turn everything down. If you crash into your probe enough, it's like, okay, well, we'll just start going the paper touch method. It takes longer, but you're much more aware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. I was definitely scared away from the touch probe for a while. I'm back to using it again, but I still also use the paper method occasionally. But I was scared away from it for a while after it plunged a V-bit into yours. And I think you were even on vacation too. And it was like one of my first times carving while you were on vacation. I was like, ah.
Yeah, well, you remember that? What was it? The Forrest Gump movie, right? That if you ever did, you watch Forrest Gump?
Oh yeah.
Okay, when he was running and he stepped through the pile of dog dirt and
Yep.
Suddenly the guy made the bumper sticker. Shit happens. He got
Shit
famous.
happens.
Yeah. Will there be a Mac version of Vectric? No.
No.
Nope.
No, not currently.
With Mac users, if you want to use something like Vectric, if there's not a Mac version of the design software, but it's available in Windows, then you can use, I think it's called Parallels. It's a Windows emulator. So people have used that. Yeah.
Mark Lindsay, my biggest mistake was using a downcut end mill to drill a series of 8 holes when I was brand new to CNC. I started on a fire on hole number 4. Yep.
Folks, when you drill a hole, don't ever drill with a downcut bit or compression bit. Okay, because that's effectively a downcut bit too.
Exactly.
All you're doing is it's like think of it like the Indian thing.
Exactly.
Like this.
I was thinking like the
on hyper steroids with packed material down in there, because that's what it's doing. It's just packing all that stuff down in there. All right. Yep. Start a fire. That's one of the quickest ways you'll start a fire is by drilling with the downcut.
I forgot to include my tabs once, and that drove my mill crazy. It sent me the message, quote, dummy, end quote, LOL.
I'm going to imagine if without the tabs, the project kicked out.
Stuff will throw back at you, yep.
Or just moved and the bit dug right into it.
Mm-hmm. I was using a cribbage board with 16 3D pieces, which each had different heights. VCarve Pro would adjust heights randomly. Was wondering if there was a good methodology to get all heights right. I mean, that would possibly, I mean, if you're talking about like Safe Z, I would go by your highest one. If we're talking about combining your models of pieces.
No, this is, I think what he's talking about is the height of using 3D pieces or 2.5D pieces.
Yep.
And there are different heights. I'd use the scaling.
Oh, you mean like it adjusts it when you bring them in? Now you can adjust those, yeah, with the different movements now in VCarve Pro.
Yeah, the scaling tool. You can change it. I think it's the 3D models. They need to be different heights.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a way on that. I got a video on scaling. Right. In this case, you want to scale the height. If your 3D pieces are coming in different heights, if that's what I'm thinking he's talking about here. So you're using 16 different 3D pieces, right? And they're each different heights. Go to the scaling tool. I've got a video that tells you how to use the scaling tools.
Yep. You were correct. He was talking about the scaling the 3D model.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had your dust boot brush hang up your machine and throw off your coordinates?
No. Not me.
I really haven't used a dust boot all that much yet, so not me. We'll see. How deep can you plunge the drill bits without pecking? Whatever their cut depth is.
Without pecking. That's in the software setting. Or
Yeah,
the
I was like, whatever the cut depth is, I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, that's the toolpath setting.
Yep.
I can show you real quick if I think I've got it open.
Okay.
I think I have vectric open. Yeah, I was actually making the warrior woman today. So when you do the drill cycle, which is right there, there's this.
We're still seeing G Sender.
Sorry. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to the toolpath for the drilling, which is right there, click that, and you can check that box, and that turns pecking on and off. Blazig said Vectric is working on the Mac port. They announced this back in December 2025, starting small, but adding to it. Cool.
I knew they were working on it. I had not seen that update. That's awesome. Warrior Woman, new hood ornament for the IDC mobile.
There you go. That Warrior Woman project, this I actually made for my niece. Mark can relate to this. So she had cancer when she was 6, and she survived that whole deal, with the chemo and brain cancer. So they had to take a piece of her brain out. But she made it through, and she's a super bright girl. You guys have met her, right?
Yep. She's a sweetheart. She's funny.
So I made this plaque for her, the Warrior Woman. And so this is I make this available to other people too. And that's one of the reasons we donate, right? We donate to St. Jude because
St. Jude. Yep. And I wanted to touch on this. I ordered the Zero Touch. I got the idea watching this channel. Hope I didn't go wrong. See so many people using the paper method now. No, you didn't go wrong. Everybody has their preference. Like I said, right now, I am using the Zero Touch 9 times out of 10. Occasionally, I use the paper touch again. It's just whatever I'm feeling. It depends upon the project. It depends upon my comfortability with the surface of my project, and what my goal is, and how lazy I'm going to be, because the paper touch does take more time.
A time you might want to use a paper touch is when you're using a really fine point bits, like the 30-degree V bit, or really tiny, like the 1/32.
1/32.
Yeah.
Can I use the 1/8" bits in a standard alt mill chuck, or do I need to use the extra chuck inset piece?
You want me to answer that?
Yes, sir. You got the alt mill.
There's 2 ways. With your alt mill, with the spindle, you should have gotten 3 different collets. Should have gotten a 3/8 collet, the 1/4" collet, and the 1/8" collet. Right. If you didn't, then you have just a 1/4" collet. Then you want to use a collet reducer. All right. That's these. So there's 2 kinds. There's the standard kind. It's not real high precision. It still works, that we have that comes with our sets. And then you have this is really high precision here. This kind here. So that's the adapter, the extra chuck insert piece. So it's called a reducing adapter collet.
Right. Blaze. Be careful when using glue and tape method when humidity is high. Southeast Michigan launched a chuck of walnut off my forehead. Kind of explains things about me.
Another problem. I never would have thought of that.
No, I never would have thought of that. It being too warm. But yeah, it makes sense. The adherence is too warm, starts loosening up.
That man, that scares you when the machine's throwing something. High humidity using CA glue. It's the adhesive to the board, especially on the MDF. Right? MDF reacts to humidity. It'll swell or shrink, swell or shrink, swell or shrink. It's like a sponge.
All right. Can spindles replace routers in all cases? I think so. I think it's more of the opposite. Like routers can't replace spindles in all cases because of their capacity or lack thereof. But correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the comments or Garrett. But yeah, I think it's the other way around. The question is, can spindles replace routers in all cases? I would say yes. I'd say it's the opposite, that routers can't replace spindles in all places when it comes to a CNC because of power.
Yeah, so first I'd ask your machine company, right? Thing with the spindle, your machine control, the brain, the electronic box that's tied onto your machine needs a port for the spindle, right? And if it has a port for the spindle, then you can plug a spindle into it, right? And ask the company or see the company what size spindle it takes. Usually it's two common sizes for these types of CNCs, 65 millimeter and 80 millimeter. Right? You want to ask, make sure your machine can support it. Like the long mill can't support the 80 millimeter. I got an 80 millimeter on it. It worked for a while, and then it's too heavy. So I have to change it to the 65.
All right. Will edge hugger fit my digital wood carver CNC? I don't know what size are your T-tracks on your digital wood carver CNC? Because most likely it fits a lot. It just depends upon your size of T-tracks. Obviously we found out, they didn't fit the rails on the next wave, so we're expanding our nuts for that.
Yeah, I'm looking the machine up right now to see what kind of tracks they got on there, but they're not showing pictures to us. Shop CNCs. I don't know what kind of tracks they have on. It looks like standard T-tracks.
Standard T-tracks?
Yep, it's going to fit.
So, most likely.
Yep. They're universal. It's basically universal in T-tracks. So we haven't found T-tracks that won't fit yet. We did our best to design them around all the T-tracks that were out there.
Swan, Garrett, and ladies. When the files are pulled up, how can I tell that the correct file came up? All I see is numbers. Swan from Delaware. That's interesting. I always see mine by name. So are you naming your files properly? That could be an issue. Because like between selecting my file and then it displaying on the screen and everything like that, it always displays it with the file name for me.
Yeah, I want to give a little food for thought on this one. So
that's what
yeah, if you're using GSender, down at the lower left corner, just take his thing down. Take that down for a second. This lower left corner right here has got the file name. So if that's all numbers, then like Liberty said, your file, you haven't named it properly. Right?
Or he could be seeing the Gary Hudson. He could be seeing the G code.
Could be seeing the G code. If he's looking inside of it, then he is seeing the G code.
Yeah. So that would be that you're looking inside the G code file, not into the design file.
Yeah.
That's why you're seeing numbers.
Okay. Duh. Yeah.
Like, oh, duh.
Duh. Okay. There's there's G code. That's the instructions to tell you.
We cannot see it.
No, duh. It's on the wrong screen. That's
there
G.
we go.
If you're seeing something like this, that's G-code file. That's what you're plugging into the controller.
Mm-hmm. All right, John, I was cutting several small pieces using the CA method. The tape was on the edge of the workpiece, so the pieces were not held in place. Oh, okay. So it was like not enough.
Yeah, maybe you had
Along the edges.
a warp in the board or so.
Mm.
Right, here's another mistake. I've seen this. You have a warped board, and you're still trying to use CA glue, and you're not using a shim in there.
Yep.
That's why I have those little shims that they use for drywall.
Taking too big of a bite on a profile cut, not setting enough paths, board threw off at my head. Double check number of paths. Goodness gracious, these boards and their aims for foreheads.
I know. That just goes to show that CNCs don't like people. Right? Double check the number of paths. So yeah.
Yep.
What I like to do is if I'm doing a profile, I like to do it so it's doing a spiral cut all the way down.
Yep.
Not plunge and try to go across.
I am planning to carve IPE/Brazilian walnut and ironwood. How do I make speed feed changes for different hardnesses?
Can you bring that next week when we got Kyle? All right, so because we'll be talking about that then. He's doing ironwood. Ironwood is the hardest wood that's out there. There's, at least in my research.
Yep.
You can't.
Steven, I'm sorry.
No, never mind. Go ahead.
I have bought the edge hugger. I have not used it as of yet. I just purchased the Next Wave CNC. Am I able to get the new nuts you mentioned to make it work?
Yeah, once we get them, right?
Once we get them, well, we do have them in. Send me an email and we can see what we can do to get you switched out. I don't see that being unreasonable to get you switched out instead of you returning the kit and purchasing it. Okay. That's weird.
What?
This comment. I bought the edge hugger kit nuts. Oh, you filed them. Okay. Filed them to a 45-degree angle and they fit just fine on my Shark HD 510. I mean, that's fair if you're willing to, file something down.
Yep.
Go right ahead.
Made it work, but we got different nuts coming for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do that. Okay, cool. All right. We're going to speed this up, folks, because we're past the 9:30 mark. And
Garrett, making any progress on the bright gantry lights?
Nope,
I do have some notes on you for that. I might even get with Julianne on that for you, so that way we can get those whenever. My mistake, I didn't level my table. It had a twist. Yep. So the x-axis weren't, or the y-axis rails were not straight with each other. Park, if you surface your spoil board, doesn't that compensate for any level step-up issues within reason?
No, not relative to your frame sitting on your floor. So what the surfacing does, it will surface and keep the spoil board perpendicular to the gantry. But if it's twisted like that along the frame, your spoil board is going to be surfaced like that, but your gantry distance is going to be the same the whole way through. All right. So no, you have to level the machine.
Yeah. I bought every day of your 12 days of Christmas. Any thought of bringing it back for spring or summer? It was a great collection of items. Oh, give me a breather. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. You're not the only one that bought all of them, though.
What would we call it? We'll have to come up with the name.
There's 104 days of summer vacation, and school comes along
There you
just
go.
to end it. That's probably copyrighted. Darn it. It's a TV show song, Phineas and Ferb, and they have 104 days of summer vacation. My kid don't have that now. You know, summer vacation is so short now. She doesn't even have 3 full months.
It is short.
Not even 3 full months. All right. What wood material should you not use or doesn't matter?
I haven't run into any wood material that you can't work with. I haven't run like ironwood. Actually, I'd like to get some. If we can get some ebony and ironwood, that's going to cost us a lot of money, but that's okay. Ebony and ironwood, because those are 2 very hard woods. And then we can do, so let's just make a note of that and we'll get some of that. Someone good.
Yeah. Not walking away when you're having a bad day or made a large mistake.
Yeah.
Yep. Like we were saying earlier, sometimes you do just need to walk away. Sometimes you're in too much of a rush, whether that's for 5 minutes or for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm. If you're feeling frustrated, if you're frustrated, just quit. I ran my thumb on my table saw because I was frustrated, hungry, and tired. And mad.
Robert, say, Garrett, do you have a video on nesting?
I do not.
And that is all I have, unless there's previous the ones that I was not able to.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we've had a lot of.
Hey, Cody, popping in at the end.
Oh, there's a man, Cody. All right, J-Bit Cody. Yeah, we were talking to him on the phone today. Yeah, allergic reactions. Mark made a note about wood. Some woods have allergens, and I think he's got a sheet that has the different woods and the different toxicities of wood. Believe it or not, some wood has levels of toxicity. I had a friend, he did a lot of cutting of wood, and he had a lung infection from it. So ebony and ironwood. Wasn't that song Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson did? Ebony and ivory, that's what that was. All right, folks. I actually got lots of stuff out of this today, and I could relate. Bring Julianne back on board. So there we go. First of all, I want to remind you about our special. Go ahead, Julianne. Let them know what's going on right now.
So until midnight Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time, whatever the heck we're in, until midnight tonight, we've got our 15% off our IDC Woodcraft drill bits. Perfect for those lovely cribbage boards and if you want to start fires. But that's the 2-piece sets on the 1/2 inch, the 1/8 inch, and then there's a set with a 1/2 inch and an 1/8 inch in it. So that'll be
1/4 inch. You said
quarter inch. My bad. It's been a long day, y'all. I'm so sorry. But yeah.
Well, I tuned out for a second, and then I heard 1/2 inch. I was like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, 1/2 inch drill bit. No.
Yep. And next week we have Kyle coming on. Yep. So that's the discount code. What's going along down at the bottom, right? Drill down 15 because we've been drilling down into a lot of problems. It's a brilliant little code to work with. So use that at checkout. Kyle Ely will be here next week. Bring your vector questions next week. It's going to be awesome. Love having Kyle on board. And you can learn, if you haven't been in his course, you can learn about his course. And we're all always saying, take his course. That's the way you got to learn the software.
Yep.
All right, Liberty, I'm going to leave the sign out to you.
Okay, well, CNCers, thank you for joining us. If you got something out of tonight, please make sure to hit that like button and join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is your typical crew, me, Garrett, and Julianne, and we're here to answer your CNC questions every single week, and we bring on special guests like Kyle. Thank you for being here and hanging out with us, and have a wonderful night.
We'll see y'all.